wow.
Testing, 1, 2, yes.
Pronounce your last name. Conzelman. I don't know why I want to accent it. Conzelman.
What would it sound like with an
Oxman.
A? No, Consulman.
Oh, it's been called many a things.
Okay. Okay, just let us know.
So sad I didn't get to the Arboretum.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. I was gonna. If you want that, it's been a while, so I don't know. If there's anything.
Called a day gig, gets in the way of everything good.
We will call the meeting to order today on August 5th, 2024 at 5:55 PM. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It calls for an invocation, but if we could just have a moment of silence, please. We're going to be looking at the minutes from May 6th. It's been a while, guys, since we've seen each other, and I hope everyone has had a great summer, and it's time to get back to work. So if we can look at the minutes, if we need a minute from May 6th, and see if there are any corrections, anything that's been omitted, anything that we need to add back or anything. Take that time to do so, and then we will hopefully have them adopted and properly moved.
The meeting I did for you? The meeting I did for her?
You what?
Say it again.
Didn't I, the last time we were together, didn't I do the meeting or were you here? Oh, we dismissed, so we don't have those minutes. Okay, that's why I was like, hang on. All right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was
Yeah.
just the two of us, yeah.
That's why I was like, hang on. Okay. I motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second, y'all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes have been approved and properly second and carried. Items of discussion, new business, we have summer residential appearance award. Anyone having any pictures that we need to add or just what we already have submitted? Oh yeah, the deadline is passed, so we're good.
Mhm. These are the pictures. I'll flash them on the screen, but you guys also have them in your packet just to help you guys out. Just a few. Over on East Pine Street. Then a couple that Miss Conzelman saw, one over on Marshall. And then 300.
I love that. They did a great job with that.
And then this one is New Street. The number's not on there, but it's 603 New Street.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
sorry.
no worries. Does that, yeah. So if you guys want to think for a minute, and then you can discuss if you want or whatever, like I'll flash back through them.
And just as a reminder, the residential appearance is landscaping only, or is it front facade and landscaping?
I just kind of look at it as the overall appearance of
Okay.
everything. How, I mean, I know we're not doing a house contest necessarily, but just how they present the house, however you guys feel that it should be weighted.
And some of these houses, like this one on Marshall,
Sorry.
that is such a transformation. It's
Mhm.
sat empty for so long. And I had spoken with the man there some time ago, and he had bought the house many years ago. When his mother passed,
Mhm.
he moved in there and now has been working on it, and it's so cute.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I think the Marshall and then also the New Street one,
Yes.
on the Google Maps, they look much worse than they do now. They've done a
Yes,
very
yes.
good job.
And the New Street one, is so cute. She does the flamingos and stuff like that. Yeah.
And you said it's 603 New Street?
Mm-hmm.
And two, that's a duplex on Elm.
The 300 West Elm has also been a
That's a
great
duplex.
transformation. I mean, it had gotten pretty
Huge,
run down
yeah.
and it was one big home. And I think they converted it to a duplex.
Mm-hmm.
Although when I drive by it, I don't see like a or B,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's just 300. So I wasn't sure, but I admire that because I pass it quite frequently.
And then there's
But all of them look beautiful.
these two, the one on Pine Street.
528 East Pine.
And then the one on Elmwood as well. They've got flowers, some flowers out.
Kind of torn between Marshall and Elm.
And I'm gonna just put this out and to have it on like Marshall or Elm, there's a lot of cars that go past and they would see that sign and be like, oh, what's that sign say? You know what I'm saying? And maybe get a little more visual
Mhm.
advertisement, so to say, that this is what we do in town. Do you know what I
Mhm,
mean?
mhm, mhm.
So,
So it's heavy trafficked.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they are,
Yeah,
'cause
on Elm
that's
and
the way to your
Marshall,
court.
both of them are heavy traffic.
Yeah, it's right across the street.
Right next door to the court.
East Pine also is on a very,
It's right there next,
From Pine
near the
also.
parking lot.
Yes,
Mhm.
they have definitely been working on that house.
Mhm.
That-
Which one?
Maybe in the last couple.
the
years.
Elm Street.
Yes,
it's been here.
yes.
Yes, this one.
Now that you say exactly where it is,
Yeah.
I've seen them and they
Yeah.
take a lot of pride in.
Pride
it.
in that,
Really,
yes.
they do.
This one has really had a transformation that's
Yeah.
unbelievable. It's undescribable.
Are you motioning for that one?
I am.
I motion for that one too.
So,
to be honest.
The motion is to award,
300 West Elm,
The
Okay.
West-
300 West Elm.
Oh.
unanimous.
motion to award 300 West Elm.
Yes, and we'll make a motion.
re-
May I have a motion to award 300 West Elm for the Summer Residential Appearance Award?
I second that.
And I am in favor of that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. 300
was too
West
easy.
Elm. That was
I have
easy.
seen, I have
easy.
seen them. They use that porch often.
Yes.
They're always out.
Yeah.
Yes, now that
Yeah.
you guys tell me where that, that's right, yes.
Okay.
They do.
So the Auditorium visit, there was only unfortunately one of us that was able to make that trip.
So interesting.
Uh,
It was a
um,
very interesting
sad.
trip, how they acquired the land and what they have done and what they're doing, and such an interesting field trip. It really was. I enjoyed
Did you
it.
want to enlighten us on something that really kind of stuck with you?
Well, Rhett Davis, he gave the first speech and he's so interesting. He really is. And he's so involved in everything and the fundraising. Oh, come on. The fundraising, that they do and how they were so quickly able to get money to buy that land and the condition that it was in. And they bought it from the American Legion. And he did say they quickly knocked it down and quickly rebuilt it, so, because what they didn't want it to be historic. you know. But everything that they found in the stream and now what they are doing over there, cleaning up the stream, the different plantings, and now everything has been successful. You know, they've had to, change some stuff up and whatnot, but it's also leading to the Carousel Park, the Burlington Park over there too, and that whole waterway. Like they're really trying to get, everything going and whatnot. So, but it's really, I highly recommend taking a walk through there. I really do. And even the monument for the veterans and stuff like that, and what flags they fly, plain and simple, they just fly military flags and that's about it, so. But yeah, really, really a beautiful park, what they've done there. It really is. And very active,
Yeah.
very, very active. A lot of people walking through and the neighbors are very involved. Apparently they have a stick picker upper or one of the neighbors comes through and picks up sticks.
And they plant flowers and you
Yeah,
can actually hold events there.
yes,
Mhm,
yes.
mhm. I've been
So,
to
yeah.
a couple of
So
meetings.
it's a
and
city
I've
of Burlington property, but New Leaf is the ones that.
Yes. Transformed it, transformed.
funded the
Yeah, yeah,
project.
and they
Mhm.
have like a great lawn, and then they have the kids hands-on playground and stuff like that, and so, and they're learning as they go too. Certain things are working and some are not, so they have to change it up, and just cleaning the water.
Mhm.
Just cleaning the water and the different pools, how the stream flows and creates pools and what lives in that pool, and then it really was a very interesting. I enjoyed it. I hope you did.
Yes, I enjoyed it too. And just to answer your question a little bit, I know Ms. Consman might remember a little bit better too, but yeah, New Leaf was heavily involved. I believe they came to some kind of agreement, obviously, with the city of Burlington for maintenance, because those are Burlington employees that she's talking
Yes,
about.
yes.
The guy who's over the Arboretum, and there's also a partner out there. She works on a lot of the floodplain because there's a creek going through it, obviously, and they
Yeah,
want to take care of
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
And then also, I think Impact Elements gave them some equipment
Yes,
for
Yes, they did too. Yes, yes,
For-
that's right.
playground and other areas like that.
Yeah.
And maybe even,
yeah.
I think, some of the shelter that is up at the front.
Yeah, yeah. And they love their job.
Mhm.
Like, they love their job. They really do. Well, like listening to them, I was like, wow, yeah. So it was very good. Definitely it was
They
worth it.
poured their hearts into it, and it kind of shows. It's a beautiful place. I just wasn't able to make it that day.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
apologize to you
Yeah.
guys, but it's not impossible.
Lovely place. Walk your dog through there. You'll love
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think Brandy invited us just to give you guys an idea of certain activities that you guys may be able to help at least explore. Obviously that's a
Yeah.
really big undertaking, and it would
Yeah.
require a lot more than the facilities that we have amongst us. But,
Right.
however we could get involved or float some ideas out there, or reach out to somebody in New Leaf just to show the government partnership side of it, I think is very interesting.
Yeah, and seeing what they're doing and what it takes to really just clean a stream and to clean the land. It's, it takes so much, it really does. So very interesting.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you guys for sharing that experience with us, and hopefully we can all go and view it on our own times, and maybe do try to see if we can partner with them just to see what we could do as a county as opposed city to city. And there may be some things we can make a difference with, and get to know new people, get new ideas, exchange ideas, that type of thing, and maybe we can have a luncheon.
Mhm.
Just invite them for a luncheon and pick their brains. Because we have something similar going on downtown that we need to reconstruct and do some stuff, so.
Mhm.
It may work out,
Bicentennial Park.
Bicentennial Park, absolutely.
Yeah, well, if you guys want any contact information, I would probably reach out to Brandy, myself, and I can
Okay.
connect you guys. So just let me know.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we're to the military flags. So this is my father, Thomas W. Devine, and Thomas G. Devine is my brother. And these are in my hometown of Paramus, and they put them up in the early part of the year, and then they'll take them down, I guess like Veterans Day, okay? And now I had gotten a quote for just say 100 of them, and it was, or 50, I think it was, and it's only $100 a piece. And really, when you look at how far these flags go out and on all these streets, I really think something like this would be a great hit.
Mhm.
We could partner also with like the Alco Vet, so if you had some veterans that could not afford the $100, maybe they could subsidize or help them out or something like that.
I do have some questions. I've studied this. I think it's a great idea. I love the idea. I guess distribution would be one of my questions, just to make sure we are able to get well, before I go to distribution, I guess my first question would be, how would we advertise it? Would we just do it on the website? Would we do a public announcement? Would we be responsible for going out as 3 individuals, maybe getting a certain amount of pledges? Did we ever find out from Mr. Covington, is it Covington, how many polls there actually are? Because that was one of my questions back when we were talking about doing the seasonal flags.
Mhm. No, I don't know if he ever let me know anything. I think they got caught up with the Arbor Day stuff as well. So I can write that down. I'm writing some notes down now. I will ask him. And also I was going to ask him and maybe Mr. Burke Robinson, um, the polls that they use out there. I don't know what kind of permissions they've had to have over the years because I'm guessing they're managed
Yes.
by Duke Energy.
Yeah.
And so that may be something, I don't know how much of a heads up that Duke Energy has to have, or if it's just kind of a running agreement where there's already the tools up there for the polls, and as
Yes.
long as they don't change anything, we don't have to let them know.
Yeah.
So that's the question I would have as well, and I can follow up with that and the number of polls, I'll write that down.
Number of polls and that,
Yeah.
yeah, and then what, what is affixed to the polls, where we'd have to add anything was another part of my question. So that's one of your questions as well. So
Mhm.
that's good.
So,
And
excuse me, I know we had spoken about two getting new flags.
mm-hmm.
So that would also be something that could be on the town to get the new flags, but this would be public supported, you
Yes,
know, and
yes.
we would just be responsible for the labor,
Mhm.
you know, so that's, you know.
I do-
So would we be able to install any hardware if it's called for?
Mhm.
Where would that lie within the city? Or I don't think this board could be able to approve it. And then probably would the electrical company have to be involved just to make sure what we do install doesn't interfere with any type of frequency or whatever goes on?
Right.
And how many of the poles, of course,
Yeah,
belong
that
to
would
the
be the
city?
biggest
How
thing,
many
how many
belong to
poles?
the
Yeah.
Duke
Mhm.
Power? So there's a lot of intricate information
Yes.
pertinent to us doing this install, but it's a great, I
Mhm.
think, presentation and representation of the people who have fought for us and for
Yes.
our country and have maintained. One other thing that leads me to my segue into something else, and if I'm going too fast, you guys stop me. But when I'm thinking about, do you have to be a resident of Graham? Or could you have been born in Graham,
Mhm.
maybe have moved away? What are going to be the criteria so we can make sure when people say, I want to poll, okay, well, this is the criteria. So how would we establish criteria?
And
to
that's
make
a
sure.
great point because we're also the county seat. So,
Mhm.
or is it just Graham or are we doing the county?
Yeah.
So,
I would do
and
the county.
that's, right.
And
So
that's-
I think the
that's,
county
you
would be
know, a
good.
big thing too. We can't just say.
Yeah, that was gonna be
you
one of my points. If you're partnering with sorry about that. If you're partnering with that organization like Alco Vets, they probably have a membership base or something. That would be a great advertising tool for you guys.
Right.
Any resources that they have that they could, if we were able to partner with
Mhm.
them, they could push out any information to their already probably active membership base. And I think that's a
Right.
great idea from that perspective. And then you would probably open it up to all Alamance County residents, which means as the county seat, that is something that wouldn't be odd to do.
Right, right.
What I would like to see done, if I would like, instead of partnering, I would like for them to serve maybe as an advisory committee to us. Giving us Alco Vets.
That's, yeah.
And the reason why I wouldn't want to partner with them, because then other military organizations that are established would then have, we don't want any grievances because this is such a great project. But I would like to get some type of leadership advisory committee going with them.
Right.
And letting us know how do we go about pulling these records?
Right.
You know, who's gonna have access to getting the records to us?
Well, you're not getting records. It's a picture and then again, you're just putting up their name, their rank, you know.
Well, no, not their military
or
records, but
whatnot.
but some family, I guess we'd have to approach the families because somebody's going to provide the picture and the time they served, what
Right.
branch of the military they served and this thing and that. So I think what we should do is to focus on the general public. Don't want any one group to be able to dominate the project.
Well, you
Um,
can reach out to the American Legions and
Yeah.
stuff like that, you know, so that would be, you know, in the different areas, you find your American Legions or, you know, whatever veteran groups there are and kind of put it out to them, you know, so something like that you can get. But the big key is how many polls do we have?
But yeah, the
And we
big,
have
once
500
we find
people that
out,
want to sign up, but
Yeah.
it's like, well, we don't have 500 polls. You know?
and once we find out how many polls we have, and
Yeah.
then I guess we could poll
Yes.
the people.
Yeah.
But then what I would suggest would be maybe a better thing is that, say if we have 15 polls, and the three of us are equally given a certain amount of polls to go out and solicit.
Mhm.
for.
Right.
You see? Now we can say, okay, you can be within the same family, or you may be on a poll with someone
Mhm.
extreme. We, this happens this way, but we don't know how many people that have other members that were military or whatever. So I guess the first thing I think is a great idea. First of all, let's go ahead on and see if we can adopt that we are going to work towards building criteria after getting information
Mm.
to get this motion in work, because I really think it's something that's good. Then the second thing we would have to ask the council is how long can we leave it up? Because this is a great project.
Right.
And I wouldn't like to see it go be up for a few months and then come down. Will we be able to spend it for a year? Would it be 6 months? Would it be 3 months? So then we can tell the families, as we are soliciting for the monies, it's a great project. Then we have to figure out, once we get the money, is all the money that we're going to raise, if we just get just what's the cost, or are we going to add something to that so we can make sure we can also cover some of the labor, some of the hardware,
Right.
to make sure we can do this right.
Right.
If it's costing us $100 to get it, 9 times out of 10, it's just like a car going in the shop. If your part is $250, your labor is $250. And we could maybe look from that perspective. Then we have to find out, make sure we're not gouging, all these particulars from the council.
Yeah.
How can we charge based on the price that we've been
Right.
quoted? How much manpower would it take? Who's going to be responsible for those persons being assigned? Because we are watching hours now with the city, and that's everywhere because
course.
everything is just
Yeah.
going so high. So we really need to come together with what I'm looking at is a business plan to present to council. And maybe we can tap into New Jersey, and just follow up to see who headed this project. And it's not that hard to do. We just have to maybe do a closed meeting for one of our months where we're not having meetings outside of the meeting. We can just do a closed meeting and just make a conference call from here. Once, we get
Ye-
information,
yes,
contact
yes,
information,
yeah.
and then they can tell us how to put it in
Yeah.
place. But I would really like to see this flourish very quickly because this is
And the
great.
turnaround time is not a long time. Of course, it depends on how many there are. So the turnaround time, and I would love to see this up next year, up like next May,
Mhm.
and take it down in September or something. That would, I think, would be great. So,
November, for
November, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, November,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then that's perfect because then Christmas comes in and boom, boom, so, yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought. I think, just off the top of my head, the stretch from July 4th to Veterans Day in November
Yeah.
would maybe be a good one, because I think
Memorial Day. though.
Memorial
I think
Day,
It should be
yeah.
Memorial
Day-
Day in May.
So-
And I know, and again, that's
or that.
what Jersey did,
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
don't have to follow them, but that's,
Mid-May to
they've done.
mid-November.
Yeah, it could be. And I
Roll to
I
Thanksgiving.
think Chair Clerk Baldwin is very correct in all the things that you guys as a board need to consider and kind of begin to think about. And if we want to let everybody think about it, and
Yeah.
we'll have our meeting in September.
Okay.
And a little
So-
more planning, a little more thinking, and you guys can maybe have, and I can talk to Mr. Covington, obviously.
And
about the
that's
funds.
going to be our key.
Yes.
It's really going to be,
Mhm.
how many polls do we have?
Right.
That's going to be the key to it.
And luckily for you guys, this is probably, it's August. So this is probably something you guys are looking for going into next year.
Mhm.
So you have
Yeah.
some
Mhm.
time to think about it, and
Yes.
so, yeah, but definitely start thinking about it now. And then if you guys want to bring it back up again in September, we can definitely do that. And I'll have some answers from Mr. Covington. He may even want to show up if that's the case.
That
So,
would be great.
Yeah,
we
is
can
it
see.
worth to even extend these flags further on, like add hardware or something? So, and I guess, again, Covington's really our
And,
key
and,
here
and it's
to-
gonna have some thought process.
Yeah,
Because he needs to look at it, I guess. And that's something we could be responsible for finding out about the hardware that's shown here. How, how, they can't tell, we can look at it, once they give us a description, we can find out the cost of it. But how much manpower went forth, who paid for that, what are the expectations? In making sure these things are installed.
and would this be for Graham, or would it be like the commissioners for, if we were doing Alamance County? You know, like, would that? go
I
to
would love the
them, or
county.
Would it go,
It would not be commissioners. It's not
not the
county
commissioners,
property.
but, no, okay,
Or city, it's more
City
city.
property, it's
Okay.
city resources.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
okay.
it's not something you couldn't open it up to Alamance
County.
County Veterans Office or the
Well, of
American
course, right,
Legions or
right.
Alcovet. There's
Yeah.
so many entities that are deserving
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
participate. I think my only, I love the idea. I've loved it since it was presented. My only question is the city committed to taking in those, dollars for purchase and processing that? Because I know they do that for in honor of trees and things of that nature. So it'd be very much a similar, but it would be additional bandwidth. So I think otherwise it's going to have to be a not-for-profit taking that piece.
Exactly. And I think that that is another conversation that would probably have to happen with the public works folks, because, they would be the ones taking in the money and they would be the ones doing the labor most likely. They have the equipment, they have the experience. So,
Right.
yeah, definitely a conversation that I can have on the staff side and just give you guys the temperature of kind of what's going on over there. So I'll definitely got it down. I'll definitely look into doing that and have it ready for you guys in September if you guys think about it too and continue
Okay.
the conversation.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
just, I
Um,
envision our streets with all that, and I just think it's, it's
Oh,
really,
it's a
It's a
beautiful
very
thing. I
exciting
love it.
opportunity.
I've already, well, okay, so, but seriously speaking, what we'll do, we have a little legwork, ladies, to do. And that is maybe to reach out to Jersey or whatever part of, wherever they are and try to figure out, if they know who headed that project
Mhm.
and kind of get in their head a little
And
bit.
I'll actually be up there in about 2 weeks, so I'll be able to actually really see
Mm-hmm.
it. I'll send you guys video. And I'll talk to my brother and, see.
And any information or inspiration you can get about how they went about funding it.
Yeah.
If you talk to
Yeah.
somebody that's
Well,
gonna know.
people paid,
Mhm.
they all
Right.
paid, everybody.
Yeah,
paid for
but
their own-
the like Miss Clark Baldwin was saying, the labor.
The labor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So just maybe
Yeah, yeah.
anything you can get about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you guys will want to look into, and that's great. So.
And then I guess what we could do with Mr. Covington, I know they are used to installing flags, but maybe not this type. And just to make comparisons with him, to assure him, or maybe we can't, but hopefully we can assure him that it's not going to be any more than what they're normally used to doing.
Yeah.
I think everybody will be on board. I think that's the only two things, just who funded the cost as far as the labor part of it. Each family will be taxed, or each individual would be taxed for their own flag.
Yeah.
So that's fine, but I also propose that we cannot do it at cost, so we're gonna have to get some type of understanding from the council, how much more we think we need to to charge, right? So with those things in mind, we're just looking at labor costs.
And also, I'll find out come November, what happens to these? Will they put them up again next year?
Yeah,
Or,
That's what I'm thinking.
or you just give them to the family, like, so that I'll find out also about all
I
that.
think if we could
Okay.
run them 2 years,
Yeah.
at least 2 years,
Mhm.
and then the family can have them after that, and we cannot guarantee the no fading. We have to make it
Weather.
contractual, making sure that we cannot permit it from weather damages or, or anything like that. In the event, if that does happen and you would like to replace it, then we would take another order. It would still take the same cost that you paid initially, but we have to make sure we cover ourselves, right?
Mhm.
So, wear and tear is also, okay, another concern. So we will work up something. We'll come up with a business plan, and, the three of us, will include you
Mhm.
at.
And I'll try to get the public works information over as soon as I can, so I
Yeah.
can get you guys that feeling before you really start getting into the
Okay,
business plan.
yeah, and again, at the end of the month, I'll
Mhm.
have more information
Sure,
from Jersey.
for sure.
So,
Perfect.
okay, so hopefully September we can revisit.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect. Sounds great.
Okay.
I would love to revisit in September, so we can all agree on that and have that already on our agenda to do.
Perfect.
And thank you so much for
Okay.
taking out the time, Ms. Councilman,
Okay.
and getting us fully abreast of this. And it's just exciting to be able to ride down the street and see your papa or your dad, your mom or grandma. It's exciting. Okay, the city council, we don't have a representative. Did anyone touch bases with you as far as?
You're gonna bring
Oh,
this up in your stuff.
Yeah. No, nobody,
Yeah,
no
nobody-
updates from council.
Nobody has approached you with anything. With that having been said, we'll move right along to staff updates.
Yes.
Mr. Workman.
Yes, so first quick thing, I launched, or we launched the business beautification grant. So you guys, in the October meeting, I believe you guys will be hearing from some of those, hopefully. That's on Facebook and on the website. So anybody you know that would maybe be interested in something like that, do pass on the information and you can tell them to check out.
So it ends
What
in
is it?
October, when does it end?
The application deadline is late September. And all that information is on the website and on Facebook as well. And those are for businesses usually on the main streets of Graham.
So I was over at Oblivion,
Mhm.
and they're trying to get their back area up and running and,
Mhm.
making it a nice sitting area and some of their picnic tables and whatnot.
Mhm.
And that would be something they could put in, even though it's not seen.
I have to look at the criteria. I believe most of the stuff is, especially with your
Main
guys' grants, are some stuff that needs to be seen from
But it should be the
the road.
facade, right?
The
Yeah,
front facade
something.
is what we're worried
Okay,
about.
okay.
Because we don't do.
I mean,
even
it's
on
seen
the-
from the parking lot, but
Yeah, well,
yeah.
and even on the front, or even on the Historic Resources Commission, we limit it to outer features.
Right.
For that grant as well,
Okay.
which we've talked about the idea of maybe doing something different, but
Okay.
as of right now, that's
Okay.
what it's, and this year it'll be still limited to that.
And it's available now on the website.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. And I'm taking an application, you can email, mail it, anything to me and I'll take care of it. So yeah.
I'm gonna hit that corner gas station again.
Okay.
Every time I go in there and see.
Yeah.
What else can we do to improve you?
And then
Yeah.
the litter sweep, Cameron shared this with me. I guess NCDOT sent this out. Just making it available to you guys if that's something you guys would like to plan on participating in. I can definitely grab more information and send it out in an email, more specifics about locations that they're doing the litter sweep.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, is it
Uh-huh.
aside the road or is it in a park or is
Yeah.
it? I'm not going aside the road.
And I also don't know if it's something they're asking us, or asking you guys to organize one, which would be something that you'd have to worry about.
Oh, well, that would be good if we can organize it. We
So,
can
yeah,
dictate
I
where
can-
it's gonna be.
I could send in more updates out specifically. I just wanted to see if you guys would be interested in something like
I
that.
definitely would. I mean, the parks, I mean, or the downtown.
Yeah.
The fact that it's
and-
NCDOT, it's probably a roadway.
Right,
Is
Yeah.
fine.
But
And so
I'm
that's what-
still fine with that
Yeah.
because it doesn't have to be the main interstate.
exactly. And it also, just to that point, any litter sweep you guys ever want to organize, you won't need, I mean, if it's city property, you won't need permission other than you guys organizing it. So
Right.
just another idea in that.
And I think we could do the organizational part of it, and I think we could include like maybe reach out to the high school and the middle school.
Could we ask that the chair may not like this, but could we ask that, staff, decide, like recommend to us one or two areas that they think is the most useful?
Sure, sure.
And then whatever.
I'm sure Parks and Rec.
Do you have somewhere you want to recommend?
No, I don't. Do you guys? I don't, but I'm just saying, if
Mhm.
it's,
If it's right by someone going 85 on the road, she's not there.
No, I understand. I don't envision you guys being out on 40. I don't think we want to do that,
Yeah.
but.
But somewhere
It
where
could
we can
be-
do,
I'm
if it's a
feeling-
little work and a big
Yes.
impact, that's really what the goal is, and open it.
and
to
I
the
can be there to
community.
help organize and
Yeah.
oversee.
Yeah.
She'll-
I-
Get you one of
she'll
those
supervise from her.
Well, I'll get more information and send it out, and
Good.
if
We
it's something,
definitely want to, yeah, we definitely want to.
but then, of course, going forward, when it gets cooler in the fall, maybe you guys want to do your own litter sweep, even though it might be hard with some leaves, but definitely always something you guys can do. You don't have to wait for NCDOT, but this is an opportunity I can look more into and get more
Yeah.
specific information. If there's some locations they're looking at or they want you guys to join them,
Okay.
Right.
I will let you know.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be there help. We'll get
Okay.
all the materials handed out to you guys and everything and get you signed up and ready to go.
I'll be happy to pick up. trash.
Is there anything else we've omitted tonight? Anything?
I
anybody
did have one thing,
Mhm.
back to the recognition award. Are you gonna reach out to that homeowner and maybe schedule a chance for us to?
Sure, I can
walk
send
in the
them.
yard?
Now, they didn't, that was one nominated by you guys, which is perfectly fine, but what we'll do is I can try to mail them a letter, let them know that they won and give them my information. Hopefully they'll reach out to me by phone or email and we can go from there. If not, we may just knock on their door. One day, who knows? So, I'll
Okay.
try to find that sign as well. I'm pretty sure I know where it is, but we'll get the sign up.
Okay,
It's a great property.
Yeah, and I do believe that would be great advertising. People will pass it and see it and say, oh, wow,
Sure.
look at that, and hopefully start building up,
Yep.
Yeah, and I'd like to say too that Brandy is doing such a great job on the social media with the Parks and Recreation. She's really putting
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of stuff out
Create-
there. which
very
is really-
creative,
yes,
yeah.
it
Very,
really
very.
is.
Brandy always does a good job, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what they do? And what's the other girl's name?
Emma,
Emma,
Yes.
yes, her too, yeah, they
Yes.
really.
I'm biased, but Parks and Rec is a great, they got great things going on over there.
They've taken off since they've joined there. They
Well, good.
really have.
They're just great.
I'll add that to the minutes for.
Anything else? Nothing else. I call that this meeting be adjourned at 7:31 PM. All in favor?
second,
All
Okay.
second, thank you. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right.
Adjourn.
That was.
Gotcha. Thank you, guys.